I'm wondering if you can kind of help with this. You guys have had a lot of production, in terms of yards and points as well, last couple of weeks. And then the turnovers kind of undermine that. I wonder, how do you square that when you kind of try to evaluate how you're doing as an offense? It's all on tape. You have a lot of yards, a lot of production, and then you don't get what you want out of it. How do you kind of look at that?
Yeah, the turnovers. We kind of all know in this league that's a big part of winning football is protecting the football. The guys are out there playing and competing and they're trying to go win those games, and sometimes it's a balance between going to win the game and going to make that extra sort of great play, and being a little more secure with the ball and a little more sort of like I said, secure with the ball. Just it's something those guys are working through. We preach ball security. It's a part of what we do every day. It's a big part of winning football. And if you look up and we don't turn the ball over very, very often, I think the results are gonna improve even more. So we're encouraged by a lot of the things that our guys have been doing, that's been showing up a little bit on game day. And we know and they know that ball security is going to win and lose games a lot of times in this league, because they are those big plays in the game. They are those big plays in the game sometimes. And to our guys' credit, we made a lot of big plays in the good way. We just kind of had a few too many go against us. So we will emphasize the heck out of that and continue to emphasize it. And our guys know and they emphasize it themselves. We just got to do a little bit better job protecting it.
Just one real quick follow-up. Gardner's not a rookie. He knows, he knows what the ball's worth. What do you tell him? Is there anything that is there like a magic bullet to this? You're getting hit by Myles Garrett. I get it. What do you do?
Yeah, he does know. He's a really heady player. We've said it a lot of times. It's a lot of times at the quarterback position, it is that same balance. Sometimes in the pocket, hey, you're in a muddy pocket. You got an opportunity to maybe extend a play a little bit and try to make that conversion throw on a third down, or make that extra throw to find that completion and get the ball out of your hand. And just sort of weighing the positives and negatives of extending that play a little bit longer, and what can happen good and what can happen bad. That's an ongoing process for every quarterback in this league. And all credit to the Cleveland D-line. Myles Garrett is a special player, and he made some special plays in that game. But we know we got to protect the thing. It's a point of emphasis for Gardner. We'll work it around here. We'll make a little stronger point of emphasis moving forward. But it's a balance of playing quarterback. Shoot, you don't want the guy to go into a shell and now he's never ever trying to create plays and find extra completions out there. So it's just a balance to the way we coach him, and the way those guys play. Did a ton of good the other day, right? There were a lot of really good plays in that game, and gave ourselves a real shot at winning that thing versus a top-notch defense. And a lot of that was because of Gardner. So we'll keep all the good plays and just tighten it up just a little bit, and keep this thing moving in the right direction.
Cat?
I guess on that issue, can you overemphasize it, or is that crazy? If you get a guy thinking about it, then maybe he's not, like you said, trying to extend plays. Or can you really can't overemphasize it? You just have to drill it home.
I think it's an important thing offensively to stay on top of, stay detailed on, stay emphasizing to our players. Now, having said that, emphasizing the positive aspects of ball security over maybe the negative aspects, kind of when I'm not a very good golfer, but if I'm at the tee box and you remind me not to hit it in the water, that's usually the outcome changes a little bit. So I'd rather you tell me just pure this one, or whatever, however, I don't know golf lingo, but kind of that same way we try to emphasize things, but in a positive manner. I think that's a good way to go about it. We're trying to get our guys to protect that football, and it's really important to us.
One other thing off topic with JT, what have you seen 3 games, I mean, the progression each game, can you see that, okay, he was here, now he's here, and boy, he's just about where he needs to be?
Yeah, I this is my first year around JT, so I can't speak to seeing kind of when he is 100% rocking and rolling, but I'm seeing him look a little more comfortable and a little more sort of he's getting better and better each week. You know, it's not easy to come sort of out of some of those training room style workouts and hit the field at the NFL level, run the ball, protect the football, right? We talk about that being really important. Protecting the ball, running behind your pads, all the things that you guys can go back and dig up old quotes from like training camp and stuff. But to play running back and just sort of come in and hit the ground running, it's going to take a second to fully get everything back to where you like it. I see him continuing to develop there, and we're excited to keep that coming. Thought the run game as a whole, those guys did a really nice job. JT and Zach both ran the ball well. You know, we had some success running the football, but for JT in particular, which is what you're asking, I see him getting more comfortable every single week, which is what you would expect, just kind of with the situation.
But you don't know where there is because you don't know what his there is.
That just personally speaking for myself, I mean, you know, I've watched the tape and I've seen a lot of those great runs and great plays over the years, but it's been fun to watch him get going here these last few weeks. And like I said, yeah, the more comfortable he gets, I think the better it's going to keep getting.
Thanks, Jim Bob.
Nate?
When you guys drafted Josh Downs and when you were getting to know him just from his college tape, did you have a sense then that he could be as much of a downfield, you know, kind of deep threat as he's been? Or when did you kind of realize that was something you needed to develop?
That was something that it was a little bit of a projection on our end, just based on his college tape. I mean, he had a really productive career at North Carolina, but the tape we had, was of a certain variety. There were certain things you didn't see a whole lot of on that tape, which is that's how college film works when you're trying to, figure out how guys will fit into your system. Can they do things that you don't see them do necessarily as many times on college tape? There are a few, of course, but can they do those things? Are they comfortable with those things? Is it something that's within their skill set, something they have the ability to do? Josh, we could see he had the ability. He had the ability to get downfield. The guy can really run. He's a good route runner. Got a really, really nice instinct for getting open. He's thinking about it. It's a lot of times that receiver position, you have to really think about how you're running your routes and how are you going to get open and who's covering you and how does this route work and that route work and where does the quarterback think I'm going to be? Those are probably not easy things for a rookie, maybe coming into the NFL and trying to get on the same page with his quarterback and with his, play caller and all that good stuff. So Josh has done a really nice job of that. He continues to come along, and we'll continue to put him in different roles and let those guys shoot. If you can get open in the pass game, we'll keep giving you opportunities to get open. We're always looking for good routes and guys that are open.
Kevin?
Jim Bob, I think you guys are the only team in the league to have scored 20 or more in every game this season. Obviously, you guys have had 2 different quarterbacks, didn't have JT for a while, O-line injuries. Why do you think you've been able to sustain such offensive consistency amidst all that?
It's a great question. We're hopeful that the process we put in place around here week in, week out, the way our guys practice and the way we ask them to practice is going to lead to consistent, sort of week after week success. It's good to, we're in this business to score some points on offense so we can win games. So if you can consistently score points, consistently play pretty good football, that's a good thing in this league. We're on the path of continuous improvement. We're trying to get a little bit better. I think, a month ago you were hearing me say, hey, as week 2 goes to week 3, we got to get better. Well, now it's, week 7 going to week 8. All right, we're getting better. We got to keep that thing going, right? We got to keep getting better. there's a lot of things we can improve, a lot of things that we're coaching guys on, and those guys are working to improve. And it's just that's part of our offensive process. So hopefully we'll be able to, sort of continue to find that success. There's a different challenge every week in this league, and this week is no different. These guys are playing great defense, and that's just what it is. Here's the NFL. Here's the next team. They're another great defense, But our guys have taken that challenge. They show up to work every day excited. They show up to practice, and they practice hard, which helps you get better during the season, helps you get on the same page in the run game with combination blocks, in the pass game with routes and quarterbacks being on the same page with those routes. Like you said, sort of, hey, you're Josh Downs, you're a rookie in this league. You got two different quarterbacks, and what if they have just a little bit different vision for a certain route, how you want to get open on that thing? It's something we work through, something we talk about, sort of glad for any success we've had thus far, but we got to keep this thing moving. We got to keep improving. Looking forward to keeping that process going.
Joel.
For what it's worth, the last round of golf I played, the swing advice that helped me was just swing as hard as you can. I don't know that.
I've tried that. It doesn't tend to go well, but it is fun. It is more fun. Yeah. I think
that's terrible advice, but go ahead.
With JT, when he was here for a long time, Naheem Hines was here, and they kind of did the split out all the receiving stuff you're doing. What did you guys see with JT to kind of do some of the fun stuff you guys are doing with him in the passing game?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a really talented guy, right? JT's a really talented guy. As you're putting together these game plans week to week, you're trying to use all your guys to different talents and use their strengths and use what they do well. JT obviously getting back going like we talked about earlier. It was fun to get him back on the practice field and sort of let him run around and try some of these routes we've been working on. We've been trying with different guys. Just gave him a shot at a couple things, and he made a couple nice plays in practice. And we said, shoot, let's give him a shot at it. And he continues to make the most of those opportunities. That's that's a good trait, and we'll keep sort of trying to utilize our guys to best have success on offense. But talk about anybody that can get open. We like that in the pass game. Everybody in the NFL does, right? Well, anybody that can create an explosive pass, we like that. And JT's had a few here these last couple of weeks, so good to get him going.
Two more, JJ.
Jim Bob, now that you're 8 weeks into the season, with this coaching staff, most of them not having worked together previously, just how's the process been of, building game plans and, maybe tagging different things, just building it off to, put guys in the best position to make plays?
Yeah, it's been good. And it's been I think every first year staff, it's a learning process. Those first few weeks, God, what are we doing on Tuesday morning at, 10 a.m. or when is this meeting again? Or what do we bring into this meeting, or when do I need to have my game plan ideas ready for this situation, those type of things. So that takes a week or two, no matter how much you prepare. We type out every schedule and we put it all on paper, but you just, until you do it, you don't really know. So we've gone through the process a few times, starting to, get a feel for each other, get a feel for, who does what well, and how we can complement each other within the game plan process, within the sort of weekly preparation process. And then, as like I said, as week 7 turns to week 8, we've done 7 reps of this thing. We're on our 8th rep. We're getting a little more efficient. We're getting a little better. When you're more efficient, with your time, with your meetings, with your game planning, sometimes that can open up a little bit of additional time for unique ideas or around the league things and all those things that established staffs maybe would be more comfortable with at this point, because they've been together 2, 3, 4 years. That's a part of the NFL process. So the guys are doing a nice job bringing ideas, coming up with game plans, trying to put guys in good position to go have success, evaluating our opponent and what their strengths and weaknesses are, and how, what do we got to do to win this game? And I think we've got a good group of coaches. Those guys they're doing a nice job. They're really open-minded. Different weeks require different game plans, and different weeks require different sort of ways to complement each other in the run game, pass game, offense, defense, all that good stuff. So it's been a good process getting rolling here, and hopefully we continue to improve it, continue to find ways to make the process better and make it more effective ultimately, so we can have a little bit more success on game day.
Last one, James.
Jim Bob, what does Alec Pierce mean to this offense? I know he plays the most amount of snaps every week from a wide receiver, but beyond the box score, and I think the misconception is like, oh, what is he doing? He only has this many catches or whatever. But what does he mean to just the totality of what you all are able to do, especially like on a day like Sunday where you had probably one of your better offensive performances?
Yeah, he's a big part of this thing, man. He's extremely consistent, shows up at work every single day, ready to learn his role in that game plan and ready to go execute it. And, you know, if you want to change something on him last second, gosh, we're about to break the huddle, go into our practice rep, and let's run the route at this depth instead of that depth, or change this split a little bit, or whatever, all these little sort of nuances of offensive football. He handles that. He makes the note in his head. He goes and executes it. The guy's just extremely consistent. He's a pro's pro. He's out here working at his craft. And you know, good to see him make a big play the other day. He's made some big plays for us this year, and I think he's going to continue to make big plays. And the ball gets spread around, and like I said, game plan wise, shoot, sometimes it's your week, sometimes it's somebody else's week. That's kind of how the world works in the NFL. But he just keeps showing up, keeps going to work, keeps being in the right place where the quarterback expects him to be, and that's a big part of our offensive football. So he's doing a nice job for us. He's playing winning football. We gotta go, you know, find a way to get us a win this week and get us going. So
from a schematic standpoint, does he help other guys like have their weeks? I know everyone's like, oh, like he might have had a big game, but like just always having one defender have to account for him going deep, does that help other guys underneath? Or
yeah, I think having receivers with complementary strengths is a pretty good policy in the NFL. Guys that do different things well, and can attack a defense in different ways well. You know, we're lucky enough to have guys that can win in a lot of different ways, and Alec can win in a lot of different ways. But shoot, one, if you're defending him, you know, you got to make sure he doesn't get over top of you, right? And that's something that he's really good at, and he stresses the defense on, and sometimes that can lift coverage a little bit to create a little bit more space for everybody else. But it works just the other way as well, right? We're catching all these balls underneath. Gosh, we're just, you know, sometimes you get hot with those different intermediate passes. Now they focus in on those a little bit more, and it does open up that deep ball. We're striving to have sort of all our guys be a part of the thing and be a part of a successful offense. And then just speaking, obviously, like I say every week for receivers, speaking of the, you know, the passing offense part of the thing, just like let all those guys be a part of it. So